Hello, I'm LuNEJuNE. In today's video, I'll be showing you the top 5 dice that was originally trash tier and now god tier due to updates and balance changes. Most of you guys can probably imagine what this list is gonna look like, but I was trying to make this video for about a year now when Holy Sword got its buff. However, due to laziness and not enough sufficient data, I kinda gave up, but now I am back for round 2. And let's begin down the list. Before we get into the video, only around 25% of you are subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy what you are seeing right now, please hit the subscribe button and also like the video. Let's get into the list. Absorb is always pretty good in PvP. Combined with Blizzard, you can starve your enemy and get more SP out of it, basically stealing your opponent's SP. But the main downside to this dice was that it was barely used and only the skilled would play. The fact that you always needed Blizzard or Shield made it hard to use for beginners despite Absorb being easy to unlock. However, there were numerous attempts on reviving this dice from the dead using Blizzard, Shield, and even Solar. Absorb was buffed on August 31st of 2021, and the buff was simply, if it left an Absorb mob on the mob, if you kill the mob you get bonus SP. This has changed so much about the dice and now it's actually pretty useful. Where is this buff useful, you may ask? In solo mode, we got to experience the power of an early game Absorb and it really changed everything. The problem that this dice had was that it was limited to a specific playstyle, which was stall and starve. Now you can instantly kill the mobs and still get a bit of SP. This really changed how effective this dice is and the style of gameplay. However, very recently this dice got nerfed due to it being way too unbalanced. Now as time goes on, you will get less SP over time. Still a good spot for an honorable mention. When Flame first was introduced to us dicers at around July 17th of 2020, and we weren't sure why they released such dice. Some of you who are new to the game might wonder why we thought like this. You know how Flame dice dies after a while? Yeah, it stinks when it happens. But imagine if you can revive it and reignite the flame on the flame dice. Now how hard would it be to use this dice in a real situation? We all thought that 111% released the dice to use it in crew battle, which was brand new at the time. However, that never really happened and we never really got an answer for their intentions. After some updates, they released an update that changed how flame dice worked completely. This update allowed us to reignite the dice simply by holding an activated over the extinguished one. This changed the dice forever and how it played in the meta. It even got a spot on 3 decks that works great: Flame Flow Royal, Flame Yang, and Flame Teleroyal. Death used to be a god tier back in the day. It really was very overrated alongside Wind dice. However, after some nerfs and its chance to insta-kill, this dice kinda died. And after its downfall, players just kinda abandoned this dice thinking it's useless. And it truly was useless. Until the update that saved this dice and its cousin, Hell Dice. This was update 6.4.3 and was revolutionary to the insta-kill family. Not only they got their insta-kill chances back, but they got a new mechanic where each mob you insta-kill, you send out a ghost mob to the enemy side, meaning they have one more mob to take care of. On top of that, the additional mobs aren't actually real mobs, so they don't give SP when you killed it. If they kill it with an insta-kill ability, that's when they get the SP. This is all great news since Death and Hell dice can overwhelm the opponent with these ghost mobs, causing chaos in the battlefield. But there were decks that abused this insta-kill ability, and present day Death will give you less SP if you insta-kill the mob. Holy Sword dice was the worst legendary dice at the time, and we all called it the holy shit dice at one point. The ability that the Holy Sword had was the 50% health reduction on normal mobs, and that was it. No percentage damage on the boss and mini boss, no divine, just a 50% damage to normal mobs. The only thing that was going for it was the fact that it was a legendary dice and it had some kinda quote unquote value to its name. And the 50% damage was a lot higher than now. But after some terrible time, we had an update patch where it got buffed. It now deals percentage damage to bosses and mini bosses, and now it has a 15% chance to turn it into a divine sword. This was huge. The players were finally encouraged to play this holy sword dice. After that, it's history. By far one of the greatest changes for this dice. Who would have thought new could be this OP? It used to be one of those dice that was treated like fire dice. Yes, you have it, it gives crit, and that's it. But now it is a god tier dice beating wave 131 plus in PvP. Yes, you heard that right, wave 80 in PvP. I won't go into too much detail on this since it's going viral at the moment, but from a simple glane clear dice to a standalone DPS dice in PvP, that's just insane. This is the comeback of 2021. All the previous changes and comebacks? Nah. This is. I always wanted time to be useful in PvP. Heck, I even made a script for a future rant on time dice. But the dream finally came true. It is now finally one of the greatest win conditions in PvP and one of the best supported QoP. Time Dice was recently buffed in the patch/update 6.5.0, also known as the 2nd anniversary update. This dice used to only affect the same pip that the opponent/partner has. Now it will not only affect the same pip as the time dice, but it will also affect anything below that certain pip. So for example, you have a 5 pip time dice, then everything from 1 to 5 pips will be time boosted. This is a huge change since once you have a 7 pip time, you can boost every single dice on the opposite board. Also, a 7 pip time now boosts more, I guess. Huge change, and who would have expected that time would be reliable in PvP. With the power of time dice, a 7 pip class 12 lunar couldn't handle wave 10 mobs. Here's a short clip from Power Top. Anyway, that's it for the top 5 dice that got a huge rework, and now it's sitting at the king's table. Thanks for watching, and let me know what other dice also got buffed and now it's unstoppable.